Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in the Porsche Cup car at Spa for a track guide. This car is very difficult to be quick in, but it's very fun to drive. This lap was done with the fixed setup and the track temp of 23 degrees. First I'll show the hot lap, then I'll do a guided lap. Let's get into it. For turn 1 I brake at the dirt patch and use first gear. With this car you can brake very hard in a straight line, however due to the lack of ABS it locks up very easily whilst turning. I go for a late apex and you can cut all of the inside curb. I get back on power gradually in the dip to avoid spinning out. Once I'm straight I get back to full throttle. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb here, so make sure you use all of it. Once the tyres have warmed up, overage is flat in this car, however with colder tyres it's a slight lift. I begin to turn in just before the 50 board and cut all of the first curb. For the right, I turn in at the darker part of the white line. It's important that you don't use all of the curb here, as it will make the car wash out. For the final left, I cut all of the curb. The track limit is the red and white part, and you get a slowdown here if you cut too much. For Le Combe, I brake around a car's length before the curb. My peak brake pressure is around 90% and I use third gear. You can cut all of the first and second curbs. I trail brake to the start of the AstroTurf for more rotation, before coming back on throttle to around 50%. For the left, I trail brake slightly and slowly come back on throttle at the end of the AstroTurf, making sure the car stays to the left. For this right-hander, I only slightly lift. You can take the inside curb, however it can unsettle the car. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb here. This right-hander is very easy to lock up. I brake just before the curb on the left and use second gear. You have to trail off the brake very quickly to avoid losing the car. I take a slight double apex to get good traction for the exit, and you can short shift to third, which can also help. I'm very gradual with the throttle to keep the car stable in the exit here to prepare for the next corner. For the downhill left-hander, I use the curb on the right to open up the corner. I keep the car in third gear and just trail brake slightly. I get back on throttle before the inside curb and use the AstroTurf. On the exit, the track limits is the red and white curb. You can take the off track if you want in the races as well as around the 10th. For pull-on, I brake around the car's length before the orange part of the fence on the right. I use the curb to prepare the entry and use 4th gear. I get a late apex for the first part and slowly come back on throttle to make sure I don't understeer wide. The second apex is easily flat. Trail braking here is very important for the extra rotation. For this chicane I brake just before the curb and use 3rd gear. I trail brake to the inside curb and use the AstroTurf for more rotation. I prepare the left by slightly sacrificing the right. I turn in at the end of the curb on the right and get back on throttle at the inside curb. The track limit on the exit is the red and white curb. For this right-hander I brake at the curb on the left and use 3rd gear. My peak brake pressure is around 75% and I get a late apex for a good exit. I'll trail brake to the apex and the track limit on the exit is the red and white curb. On the entry for this right, I'm as far left as possible. I turn in just before the end of the curb and lift slightly. It can be taken flat with a perfect line, however I find this much more consistent with a lift. Blanchiment is flat in this car. I turn in just after the dirt patch and avoid the inside curb. On cold tyres it's a lift, so be careful on that one. For the final chicane I brake at the white line and use 1st gear. I brake in a straight line and take a late apex for the first part to prepare for the left hander. I get back on throttle before trail braking for the left. On the exit I get back on throttle at the inside curb and use all of the exit of course. So that was a lap of Spa. If you found this guide helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll now leave you with the 3rd person lap for the end of the video.